What is going on, everybody? This is Yes, I Read That, and today I am reviewing Fevre Dream by George R.R. Martin. Fevre Dream is perhaps one of George R.R. Martin's lesser known books. I mean, he is generally known for the Song of Ice and Fire series, and he's still writing that. So this book, actually, I heard about this in a very weird way. I used to play Bloodborne with a friend, which is a video game, and the lore and the setting is this gothic horror creepy vampire game. And I read that the creator of the game said that one vampire novel everybody should read is by George R.R. Martin, and it's called Fevre Dream. So I literally did not know anything about the book except that there were going to be vampires. And I love the game Bloodborne, so I thought I'd pick the book up and read it. Personally, I really enjoyed the book and the characters in there, but I'm going to tell you a bit about the story, then go into my likes and dislikes and my score for the book in the end. So let's start with the story. Where do I even begin? So I absolutely love the story, and the setting was completely unexpected for me. As I said, I knew nothing, so I was quite surprised when the book starts, I think in 1857 or something. So it's set in America. It is about a captain. It is about Captain Marsh, and this was the era of steamboats, steamboats on the Mississippi, and it's just brilliant. Because I only knew A Song of Ice and Fire, and I don't think I've read anything else by George R.R. Martin, I did not expect something like this at all. I was expecting some fantasy, different world, but this is actually set in our world, well, something like our world in the year 1857 with steamboats and vampires. So yeah. So the main character is Captain Marsh, who is a steamboat captain, and he has his own company. But he is struggling financially with his company in the beginning of the book when he gets the offer of his lifetime. A man named Joshua York offers him money. He's basically an eccentric rich guy, and he offers him money to build a gigantic and beautiful and fast steamboat. And he has only one condition, that whatever weird whims and ideas York has, Captain Marsh should follow. It becomes clear very soon that York is a bit of a weird fellow. He's very pale, he has these eccentric friends, and obviously there's this request that Marsh should do anything that he wants to do, or basically it wasn't like do anything he wants to do, but tolerate his excursions and where he wants to land and whatever, stuff like that when going with the steamboat. But soon after the maiden voyage, Marsh notices that there's a lot more to York actually, and that he's on a mission that is a bit more sinister, but maybe also much more noble than he originally thought. And I won't spoil too much here. I think it's very clear where this is kind of headed, at least like an idea of where it could be headed. But the book is a lot more nuanced than you might think. So I'm going to go into my pros and cons, my likes and dislikes of the book, and talk a bit about what I liked. So first of all, I think the characters in this book were written pretty cleverly and pretty nicely. I really liked York and his weird friends. The Fevre Dream, the ship itself, almost felt like it was its own character because they talk about it so often, and the way that Captain Marsh imagines it racing against other ships, and I don't know, the way they treat it, and I just really liked the mood, the entire setting. The characters were unique, they were really interesting. This is, if you didn't read the book you won't know who he is, but I actually really liked Damon Julian. I think the character was awesome, really. Yeah, that's just all I can say. So yeah, as I said, the overall vibe of the book is awesome. I love the steamboat stuff. It is like an ode to 19th century America with steamboats and the captains, all people working for them, and the towns that were, rising because of that. The historical context itself is also interesting. I mean, this is right before the American Civil War, and you can see parts of that in the book. You can also see, obviously there's slavery, and it's displayed in if you go down these rivers, basically the further south you go, the different the opinion gets, and it is really interesting to read about, in my opinion. The introduction of the story was well done, but kind of slow. I will say that, part of my dislikes later, but I really like the story overall. The depiction of vampires was very good. I read somewhere that this is like the best depiction of vampires ever. Not sure if I would go that far, but I really like the way they behave in this book. And yeah, as I said, there's more than you might think from the story description here. It's not just horror or mystery, it's the depiction of these vampires is a lot more noble, perhaps human than you might imagine, and I found that really good, really positive actually. And so my dislike would be that the pacing could be a lot better. I mean, I get that you want to introduce the characters and you want to introduce the era this plays in and what the people think, but it just took a long time for the setup to finish. And even then, it took a while until the story really got going. So that was something I really didn't enjoy. It took a lot longer, at least it felt like it took longer than it needed to. But overall, yeah, my score for the book, I decided, is an 8 out of 10. As I said, I'm not 100% sure if I agree with the depiction of vampires being perfect, but I really liked how they were displayed. Mystic, noble, but also powerful, and I'm not going to spoil anything, as I said, but I just, the vampires were pretty good in this book. But the thing I enjoyed the most was just this 19th century vibe with steamboats, the captains, the cities, the general mood that this book was displaying, and I think it was brilliantly done. And if you're interested in that at all, I would highly encourage you to read it. I mean, the races, how they're described, and I mean the ship itself, the Fevre Dream, you know, yeah, it's just, yeah, I really enjoyed the book. So yeah, that's it for my review. If you've read the book and have an opinion on it, then leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like and leave a sub to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye!